Thank you. Thank the Ninja for all the support that they have given us all these years. Thank you.
Okay, so you can tell Art's a man of few words. So I'll do some of the talking here, and just want to say how much I am appreciative of the National Japanese American Historical Society for honoring Art and myself, and for recognizing, the work that we've been doing around the redress. Like Art has referred to, NJAHS was really one of the first organizations that supported us when we approached the Japanese American community. And that was back in the early 1990s. And I can't tell you how much it was so important, because, we were just starting out. We were just figuring out what to do. And to have someone like Clifford Ueda, like Ross Tonai, Chizen Ernie Iyama, Sax Kitashima, all these folks, say, hey, your stories are important. They mean something. They need to be preserved and shared. And you have a right to redress. That meant a lot to us, to have someone in the Japanese American community say that to us. And that it was crucial for our beginning, validating what we wanted to accomplish. And then having NJAHS put its weight as an institution in the community behind us. It was very important. And then, it's really helped us to persevere and just kind of hang in there, because it's been decades since those years, and we're still at it. And I guess I also wanted to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to Art, because to me, he's a hero. He's a hero of the Japanese Latin American redress struggle. And to me, it's like at the significance of those redress activists like Fred Korematsu, Gordon Hirabayashi, Michi Ueglin, Aiko Herzig, and many others, Stas Kitashima. And it's like, I think that he should actually be also recognized as a hero of the Japanese American community and the Japanese American redress movement. For decades, he's been speaking out and educating and mobilizing the Japanese American community and the broader public to hold the U.S. accountable for war crimes, for constitutional and human rights violations that happened to people that were brought here from other countries for hostage exchange. So he's just not doing this so he can get some money and an apology from the government. He's been doing this as a former Japanese Peruvian citizen and as a U.S. citizen. He's been exercising his responsibility as a U.S. citizen to defend our Constitution, to apply international law to the United States. And so, in true honor of him, I urge all of you to help us secure a positive ruling from the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights as soon as possible. Now, going to D.C. for that hearing was really a historic event for us in the Japanese Latin American struggle, and I think over time people will realize what this has meant for Japanese American history and our redress movement. And I'm just thankful that we had a good community delegation going with Art and me so that we could witness this as hopefully the final chapter in the redress struggle as it's unfolding. And so what was great was to hear Art testify what happened to him and his family before a panel of international jurists, and to have them respond with respect and with concern and acknowledgement that yes, what we went through was a war crime and a human rights violation. To have that kind of sense of validation, and I know that they still have to make their ruling, but you could feel that there was a sense of what happened was wrong, and that it's really important that we speak out about it now, because those similar type things are still going on, and they're still being done by the U.S. government. So that's why we felt that the trip was so important. And so hearing from Art was really important, but also hearing from his daughter Becky, who's in the crowd too, was real great. So all this stuff is like on the internet, so you can see it actually unfolding. But what was great, what Becky did, was to really talk about what's the impact of going through all that stuff for her father, for her family. What did it mean for her as a kid growing up? And what does it mean now for her to stand side by side with him as he's trying to get justice for not only his own family and himself, but actually for this whole grouping of people of Japanese ancestry from Latin America. But you know that having a real true apology doesn't mean it's like, okay, we got one for the family, we got maybe recognition for the Japanese Latin Americans that were brought here, but really, to have a real sincere apology, we need acknowledgement of the whole program, what came down. We need an apology for all the people that were taken, not just Japanese ancestry, but the Germans, the Italians, the Jewish people. It's only when the government fully acknowledges what happened and that it was wrong and it should not be repeated, that it will be sincere. And what was unfortunate was the U.S. government didn't even show its face at this hearing. It didn't have the courtesy to even stand up and defend its position, you know. And so I don't know if we're ever going to hear from them, because let's just say they got a lot to explain for what they did. But right now we're waiting on the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights to issue its ruling, and we really hope it is going to be a favorable ruling for the Shibayama brothers. And but what we'd like folks to do is to really express your support in a way right now that's going to make a difference. We'd like you to go online to our Facebook page, you know, and we got a petition up there that actually is asking the commission to come out with a favorable ruling. And so please go there, and you know, when you go inside we'll have more information and handouts on how to do that. But now's the time to actually stand up with Art, with the other attorneys who are also in the audience today, and to really demand that this unfinished World War II business get resolved. It can be done while people are still alive who went through it in World War II. You know, so that there's an urgency about this. But it's like, if we don't do it now, it's like, when are we going to do it? You know, when is it really going to mean something? And then for us, you know, I'm so proud and appreciative of the Japanese American community for what it's done over the decades to preserve our history, to put out what happened to Japanese Americans during World War II, and the redress struggle, and what it's meant for our nation to have that recognized. But, you know, times are changing. We're under a real heavy attack. You know, and maybe the enemy is no longer Japanese Americans per se, but it's shifted. But the same old racism, the same old white supremacy, the same old hysteria around war, whether it's real or manufactured, and the failure of political leadership, you can see it every day here with the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people marching in this country and around the world. So the time is now to resolve these unfinished World War II justice struggles and to integrate the Japanese Latin American history from World War II and redress into Japanese American history and into U.S. history. And in that way, we will empower ourselves to be able to participate and lead in the struggle that's unfolding today. And we have, as a community, have so much to contribute. And so I will hope that you will support us in this final stage. And I look forward to meeting everyone as we get to eat the good food that's waiting for us, you know. So I'll stop here. Thank you very much.